Welcome, Impactful Parents. Today we're going to be talking about fostering entrepreneurship with your child or teenager. Hello, my name is Christina Campos. I'm founder of the Impactful Parent, and I help parents of school-age children who want to be one step ahead of their kids to turn their chaos into connection with their adolescent. I'm a mom of four, a teacher that's taught every grade from preschool through high school, and today I help moms and dads like yourself to navigate that exhausting, confusing, frustrating, but rewarding world of parenting. So welcome to the Impactful Parent. And today I have a special guest. Her name is Margot Machol Bisnow. And Margot spent 20 years in government, including as an FTC commissioner and staff director of the President's Council of Economic Advisors. And for the last 10 years, she has spoken to parent groups about raising creative, confident, resilient children who achieve their dreams. And now she has a book. It is called Raising an Entrepreneur: How to Help Your Children Achieve Their Dreams and 99 Stories from Families Who Did. And it gives parents a step-by-step guide to how to foster their child's love for business and entrepreneurship so that their child can be inspired to their fullest potential. I am very happy to have Margot on the show today to share some of her expertise with our audience so that we can be more impactful parents. So let's get started.
This is not about entrepreneurship in terms of, oh, I want my child to start a business. This is in terms of raising entrepreneurial children. And so for me, an entrepreneur is anyone who starts anything. My younger son started a band. He's an entrepreneur. My older son started a conference organization. He's an entrepreneur. So the point is raising children that want to start things. Now, in terms of how that happens, which is your question, it's so important for parents to pay attention to what gives their child joy and then to support that. Every one of the entrepreneurs I interviewed for my book had a passion outside of school, and every parent eventually, not always in the beginning, but eventually supported that passion when they realized how much joy it gave their child. For most of these people, that passion is not what they do today. Something like a third of them, including my older son, the passion was sports. And they played sports 5 hours a day right through into college. None of them is a professional athlete. That's not the point. The point is that when your child finds something they love, that they're committed to, that they're working hard at, that they're competing in, that they're trying to get better at, that they're pivoting when it's not working, that they're realizing that when they fail, it's how they learn and grow, that they keep trying new things and get better and better and better. And because they have chosen it and they have gotten better, they are getting self-confident and they are gaining all the skills they need so that if they do become an entrepreneur or whatever they do in their life, they will be more successful because they've learned grit and focus and hard work and determination and all that kind of thing.
I mean, that's what we all want. That's what parents want. We want our kids to have all of those things that you're talking about. And now it's about how do we do that? How is raising that type of child different than a different kind of kid, So what is your, different parenting maybe approaches or attitudes that we should employ if we have this type of budding entrepreneur on our hands?
Right. So again, these future entrepreneurs all had a passion outside of school. And these parents weren't saying, stop spending so much time on your painting, writing music, acting, singing, dancing, playing chess, playing tennis, playing soccer, playing baseball, playing football, acting in plays, writing music, cooking, making things, building things, whatever they were doing. They weren't saying, stop that and go study your trigonometry, because they know that, let's face it, who needs trigonometry? Um, so people my age, when we were growing up, there was a path that we followed, and it worked for all of us. And all these well-meaning parents, they think it's the same path, and they should urge their kids to follow it. Hey, get good grades in all your classes. Hey, get lots of extracurricular activities. These will make you attractive to a good college. Hey, go to a good college. Take on lots and lots of debt. Stay in all your classes, graduate, and then you can get a good job. No, that's not the path anymore. And the point is, if that's the path your child is on and your child loves it, that's great. If your kid likes just studying science all the time and wants to be a doctor, that's great. But what if you have a different kind of child? What if they're not happy in school? Our job as parents is to help them find something where they can thrive. It's just so important to not to say, go do this, because then you'll be able to get a job after college. And, parents who say that to me, I say, really, this is your goal for your child, that they should spend the next 40 years doing something they don't like so they can make an income? That's what you think is a good plan?
No, I love this message that you have. Now, I need to ask, should parents support their child's passion regardless of what it is? What
Yes.
if
Yes.
No, that's good to hear. There are parents out there who are gonna be like, I can't, how it's really hard to support video games for me. There are gonna be parents who are listening to this who say that, and I want them to be able to hear it. Like, I guess, regardless of what it is that you're saying, yeah, support them.
Yeah. So one of the people in my book, Thomas View, immigrant parents, they had this idea that he was going to be a scientist, and he was always in love with video games. And they always said, well, you can do that as long as you keep your grades up, but fine, do all the video games you want. One semester before he would have graduated from college with a degree in, physics or something, he got an opportunity to join the first intern class of electronic arts. And he took it, and he became the lead producer on League of Legends. Yes, another one in my book that's kind of relevant, John Chu, who just directed Wicked, the fabulous movie. And when his parents, they were immigrants and they had an idea that he would do something more traditional. His mom came into his room one night when he was a freshman in high school. He had been making movies, for fun, like since he was in fourth grade. And his mom said, put that away and get some sleep so you're prepared for school tomorrow. And he burst into tears. He said, you can't make me stop. This is what I love. This is what I want to do for my life. And she said, put it away. Let's talk tomorrow. And she picked him up at school the next day, and she'd been to the library and she had 10 filmmaking books. And she said, if you want to do it, be the best. And he said after that, like, his parents just always supported him. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's a big gulp, but let him go.
I want to talk a little bit to you about that child that has really big ideas, really like this goals that are just amazing, maybe even to us parents might feel unattainable, but then there's this lack of drive or that grit that you were mentioning before, like that ability to, like, they start something and now the path isn't as easy as they thought, so now they want to quit. There's a lot of these kids out there. Big ideas, don't like adversity. So how can parents support their child through that so they can get through it, so they can have that ability to persevere?
Yeah, one of the people in my book, Radha Agarwal, says she laughs when people tell her that they're afraid to tell someone their idea. She says, ideas are cheap, execution is everything. And I think, I don't know. First of all, you can't make somebody keep going at something they hate. I mean, our rule was always like, if you started something that we were paying for, you had to finish the semester, or you finished the 2-week camp or whatever. You can't just quit. Like, in the very beginning, sometimes there's a word, opportunity costs. Like, you can't just say, oh, this is hard, I'm going to quit. But you have to get good enough that I really hate it, and that's why I want to quit. But yeah, if they hate it and they finished their project and they don't want to do that anymore, that's okay. I mean, there are people in my book, like they were going to be the world's greatest figure skater, and they were, ice skating for 5 hours a day. And then one day they said, I'm kind of done with this. Like, it's just not working for me anymore. And it's like, okay, go try something else. I mean, most of these people were not, the artists were doing pretty much the same thing for their whole life, but most of the other people, their passion changed over time. They did one thing for a few years, and then it morphed into something else, and then it morphed into something else. And I would say if your child isn't enthusiastic about continuing the project, maybe it's because it's not the right project. Maybe because it's a project somebody else suggested. Maybe it's because it's an aspect of a project that it's not that appealing to them. And I mean, maybe one thing, so it's so important to raise curious children. So ask your child, what is it you don't like about this? Is there a way you could do it differently? How would you change it? How would you try to make it something better than what it is? Like, don't do it that way if you hate it that way. Try to change it. Try to, and by the way, that's how a lot of businesses get started. People start doing something and then they realize, there's this thing missing. There's this piece missing. There's this way it could be done differently. And that's how you start a business or an organization. So I think it's important, if a child isn't enjoying what they're doing, figure out why and help them, find a way to do it that they love, or find something else that they love.
Now, I'd like to talk about your book. It's called Raising an Entrepreneur: How to Help Your Children Achieve Their Dreams. And it's 99 stories from families who did.
Yes.
Like, wow. Okay. First of all, let's give us an idea. What are we going to find inside? What are we benefiting from here?
Hi, so here's my book. It's the second edition, so make sure you get this one. And I have a hard copy, and I have a Kindle, and I also read it. So if you like Audible. But if you listen to it, you don't get to see that each story begins with pictures of them when they were young and then a picture of them today. It's very approachable. It's 99 2 to 4 page stories. And each one sort of illustrates a point. And it was, so when I started doing this, I had no idea what I was going to find. I picked a very diverse group, half men, half women, every race, every religion, every socioeconomic background, divorced parents, married parents, single moms, big cities, small towns, big families, small families, you name it. And to my amazement, they were all basically raised the same. And this is a list of the ways that they were raised the same. So the first one is the one we were talking about: support a child's passion. The second one is let your child learn to win and lose, which kind of ties into what we were talking about before, having your kids learn to compete, and also learning to lose, and learning that losing is not a failure. Losing is how you
learn
to grow. And if you're afraid to lose, you're going to be afraid to take risks, and you'll never try anything new, and you won't be able to be creative. So don't worry about straight A's, which we were also talking about, because the most important thing is not how good their grades are and whether they get into the right school. Mentors can be great. So many of these kids ended up with a mentor outside of school because their passion was something that their parents knew nothing about. And the fact that their mentor believed in them more than compensated for the fact that their teachers thought they were annoying. Many
Which I'm sure was another common factor amongst all those stories.
Amongst a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them were great students, and a lot of them just were never happy in school.
Mm-hmm.
And anyhow, that's, instilling confidence by, letting your children succeed and go for it, which we were also talking about. Embracing adversity. We didn't talk about that much, but, everybody has bad things happen, and it's how you deal with it and how you approach it. Nurture compassion. How important it is to raise a child with compassion and kindness. I think, the misunderstanding about entrepreneurs is that they go into it to make money? No, you go to Wall Street to make money. You go to become an entrepreneur because you want to make something better than has been made. And you want to contribute to the world by making a better product, a better service, or whatever. Show them there's something bigger. It actually surprised me that basically they were all raised to believe that there is a higher power. Some organized religion, some not, just more morals, but they all believed that they were not, that they were put on the earth to do something. And then lead by following, which is, see what your kids love and then support them in that. And then they all, every story, let's see if I can find some good ones. Every story begins with, okay, here's Benny Blanco, who became he's now one of the country's top songwriters. His mom got a call every week from his kindergarten teacher complaining that Benny wouldn't sit in the reading circle. So
there's many parents shaking their head right now going, yeah, that's mine.
Yep. So, yeah, so it's every story. It's just like a 2 to 4 page story, and they all illustrate one of those points, and it's easy to read and it's fun, and I think but it's all the same points that we were making. Just, I believe every child is unique. Every child is born with a gift, and it's our job as a parent to help them figure that out and then to support it and to let them know how proud we are for their success in that.
There's the big overall theme to your book. What would you say that is?
Help your child figure out what they love and then support it and tell them how proud you are of them for how well they're doing in that. Tell them that there will be setbacks and that you're there for them for the setbacks and not to worry about the setbacks because that's how they're going to get better, and that you love them.
Where can we find this book if we are resonating with everything that you're saying today?
So my book is on Amazon. I also have a website, raisinganentrepreneur.com. If you go to my Instagram at Margot Bisnow, there's a link to both of them up at the top. And thank you.
I'm glad you decided to be here today. Begin your Impactful Parent journey by downloading the Impactful Parent app. The Impactful Parent app is free so that you can carry help, tips, and parenting resources right in your pocket. Discover answers to your parenting questions and download that app today. You got nothing to lose. It's free on your phone's app store. So just search Impactful Parent and I'll be there. And then remember that this episode is just a small part of what the Impactful Parent offers. Also available are online courses, parent support groups, coaching services, and of course the app. Go to theimpactfulparent.com to find out more. But until next time, you got this. I'm just here to help.